the Wilmington oil field. And this one was huge. It was first discovered in 1932, and we now know it is 13 miles long and 3 miles wide, stretching all the way from Torrance to Seal Beach.
That's if you don't know, that's a distance right there. That's very
How
far.
big is it?
How big is she?
This makes it the largest oil field in Los Angeles and the third largest in the lower 48 of the United States, with an estimated total lifetime production of 3 billion barrels of oil. And by 1964, it actually became the first oil field in California to reach a billion served. They have a sign going.
Yeah.
4,000 forests destroyed.
You can't read it because there's so much just like methane gas and smog in the air. They're like, I think that's their numbers.
But believe it or not, all this ugly sucking of the Earth's marrow took its toll. By the 1940s, all of this extraction around Long Beach was causing the ground to give in because of the lack of liquid that they were taking. Yes. They were sucking it all, so the ground was giving way.
Like a cartoon.
Right. Don't step on it.
Yeah.
It's like a booby trap in case the Japanese come. Some areas saw their ground drop 4 feet in 2 years. And at its lowest point, the ground was 29 feet lower than it was before drilling started. This was causing obviously massive damage to buildings and to pipes. So to deal with this, they started doing water flooding, which is exactly what it sounds like. They just threw a bunch of water in there, replaced the lost oil liquid with water liquid, and this actually fixed the problem by the 1960s. But once that was fixed, they had a new conundrum.
The sharks were in the water.
We forgot to extract the sharks. Now they're all coming up through the pipes in Long Beach. In 1964, California got the rights to offshore mineral reserves, and the Wilmington oil field stretching out into the ocean all the way down to Seal Beach. That meant the sound of cha-ching was ringing loudly all across Long Beach. Since the 30s, Long Beach had arranged it so that the city of Long Beach got a nice cut of the profits from all this oil drilling. So with this new spread of ocean now open to them to make money, they immediately pounced on it and thus began a project to build a series of offshore drilling islands off the coast of Long Beach known as Project Thumbs.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Did a mafia member come up with that?
Yeah, Jimmy names Thumbs. He came up with it.
Careful, you'll name your thumbs.
Have you ever seen Thumb Wars?
Yeah, I've seen Thumb Wars.
Yeah. The Thumb Father?
Yeah, the Thumb Father. I've seen ridiculous. All that junk.
Well, this is...
I like that you're like, it's ridiculous.
This is part of the Thumbs enterprise.
Yeah.
So it's named after the 5 companies, again, the mafia, the 5 companies not far off that they leased these rights to. Texaco, Humble, Union, Mobil, and Shell. Thumbs. But here was the problem for the forces of greed run rampant. People living in the area knew what oil drilling looked like, and they knew how it destroyed the beauty of an area, and they were not going to let one of the main draws of living in Long Beach be ruined, the view of the ocean.
Yeah.
For this reason, there was a beautification clause put into the deal with the Thumbs that stipulated that these new islands had to look nice.
They have to put I know you're going to be a big piece of ugly metal sticking out of the ocean. Let's put some street art on it.
Let's put a bow on top.
Okay, it's got to be a cool color.
Yeah, could it have like cat ears and make it really cute?
And we'll do it all Christmassy for Christmas. Yeah. And a little Hanukkah too, I guess.
I guess. What year is it? Okay, I guess.
Yeah. They went through a lot recently.
So to come up with the designs for these islands, they hired Joseph Linish, who is the guy who also did Hershey Park, Busch Gardens, and Disneyland.
Whoa, really?
So the goal here clearly was to make them whimsical and amusement park-like to the average person looking at them from a quarter mile away on the shore.
Beautiful, but unattainable. You're not welcome here.
Like Disneyland in 2023.
Yeah. Beautiful, but unattainable. But can't get there.
For the oil barons, for the descendants of the Shell Oil Company. Yes, like Disneyland. So it absolutely worked, this plan. The islands are about 10 to 12 acres each, made of sand dredged up from the bottom of the ocean and boulders from Catalina Island. They're bowl-shaped so the oil won't seep out into the ocean. The buildings are hid behind walls, and they have waterfalls in them to muffle the sound of the derricks and the screaming workers.
Yeah.
And they're dramatically lit at night. So when you look at them from the shore, they really do look like little tropical resorts off the shore. And some people are like, they ask around, like, I want to stay there. How do I stay there?
But you got to get a job with Exxon, pal.
Well, they're hiring.
Yeah.
Do you like minimum wage? But if you do, you can't afford to stay there. But once you get on there, they're apparently very ugly and look like what they are, which is an oil rig.
Well, how very Los Angeles.
I know.
It is.
It's like a movie set.
Yeah, a beautiful thing set off the coast that you could look at night.
And behind it is just Harvey Weinstein. But in terms of masking the ugliness of the oil industry, they're a huge success. They even won the Engineering Achievement of the Year Award in 1966 from the National Society of Professional Engineers.
Wow.
They're nicknamed the Astronaut Islands because they are named after 4 astronauts who died in the early years of space exploration: Grissom, White, Chaffee, and Freeman. So that's the names of the island.
Yeah.
They've brought in $4 billion to the city of Long Beach. And surprisingly, there haven't been any major pollution incidents on them aside from the usual destruction of nature that their very existence creates. They were actually supposed to become public parks after 35 years when the drilling was supposed to stop. But once the massive size of the Wilmington field became evident, obviously that never happened. But wait. There's still a chance?
What?
At the end of 2022, the LA City Council voted unanimously to ban new oil drilling in Los Angeles and to slowly shut down all oil drilling that remains active within 20 years to put them in line with California's plan to end all oil extraction in the state by 2045.
Hell yeah.
There are still 26 active oil fields in the Los Angeles area with over 5,000 wells pumping in the city of LA. Many of them out in the open, like you'll see in poorer neighborhoods, but the ones in the rich neighborhoods have been hidden as part of aesthetic mitigation, like the one I talked about behind the Beverly Center, and others that are like the one at the supposedly at the farmer's market. Or there's some that are like fake office buildings, and that's an oil well, or a tower, that's an oil well, or this pillow that I'm looking at, that's an oil well. I'm an oil well.
I'm a human oil well.
This is a huge deal to get rid of an industry that has produced a ton of money, but also had devastating effects on the poorer communities of our city and the planet at large. Unfortunately, this plan is just for the city of LA. Long Beach, on the other hand, has no such plans and is actually expanding their oil production. Right. So the city of Long Beach has 2,762 oil wells within their city limits, with about half of those being offshore and 71% of them being active, producing 46,000 barrels a day, supplying 60% of the oil production in the United States is still coming from Long Beach.
That's crazy.
The Wilmington oil field is about 90% depleted, but there's still some 5 million barrels they can suck out of there. And you can bet that at 11:59 p.m., December 31st, 2044, you're still going to hear oil derricks grinding and gushing in Long Beach until the very last second.
Yeah. If people are making money from it, there's no way that
it's
people
not
who
stop.
like to see the sky are going to win.
Yeah.